Welcome, dear listeners of Last of the Action Heroes podcast. Jack and I are back. We are back with a vengeance. We are back to drunk podcast about spies like us. Well, what did you think?
It was good.
Right?
Not bad. Not great. Not bad. It did its job. It was an 80s comedy, a buddy comedy.
Well, compared to modern comedies, it's actually really funny. But you
That's
have to
true,
see it as a kind of a timestamp because,
since it was an 80s comedy, I thought there was going to be a lot of nudity, but there was not.
No, just, a girl in the freezing cold.
Yeah, we came so close.
We came close, too. Very true.
And that was Vanessa Angel, who I've always had a crush on. She was from Kingpin.
Right, from Kingpin.
Yes.
That's the Bill Murray thing, right?
Right. She was Claudia in Kingpin. I have not forgotten that.
Right.
Yeah.
She was hot in that.
Yeah, you might have forgotten her. I didn't forget her.
No, obviously. No.
Yeah,
Who could
I think about her all the time.
So this is a spy movie and a comedy.
It is.
Now, you're a spy movie expert, obviously.
Oh, yeah, quite the expert.
And you are no stranger to the funny.
Sure.
So how would you rate this?
Out of 10, or what kind of rating system are we on?
That's a good question. Okay, so let's say, I don't know. I'm stumped. The alcohol is already hitting my brain.
It's the martini. Speaking of, it's called this is an exclusive for your show, Hugging the Puck. No, we're not just sitting Mel Gibson. What show am I on right now?
We're not on any show. We're on a network exclusive.
We're on
our show.
We're not even on a show.
We're on the network. We're just doing a random special episode.
Great. It's
for no reason except to drink and watch a movie.
Exactly. It's called the Breakfast Martini. It originated, I think, in London. Some chef or somebody had some toast one morning with orange marmalade. He said, "What? That might be a good cocktail." So he did. It was gin, lemon juice, Cointreau, and spoonful of orange marmalade, and called it the Breakfast Martini.
Now, truth must be told. Instead of Cointreau, I did use Grand Marnier, but it comes down to the same thing. It's a French thing.
Yeah, I looked at the orange liqueurs, and the one I had was like $15, and the Cointreau was like $50 for a fifth. So I was like, well, is it really that important to have Cointreau?
Yeah, it's just, you just need a liqueur, right?
No, it's fine.
As long as it sounds French.
And it's surprisingly strong. Like, I thought my wife was just kind of being a nanny about it, but then I had one. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is no joke. I don't understand.
In her defense, she did just give birth to 001, right?
That's true.
There is that.
I thought she was just rusty, but no, it was the real deal. It was strong.
All I can say is it's already hitting what brain cells I have left, and I must say I'm a better man for it.
I'm glad to hear that.
So I do enjoy your beverage, sir.
Oh, and I had to rent the movie on Apple TV. It was $3.99. Now, do I bill you or do I bill Ryan? Who do I see about getting reimbursed?
Well, obviously that's the company account.
Okay, good.
The same place where we bill our escorts and where we build a stripper and we build that cake that we made Katie jump out of.
Yeah, I've run up quite the tab, and I haven't been paid back for anything yet. So
yeah,
maybe PR.
Probably. Maybe it's that ancient secretary that Ryan has.
Maybe so. Okay.
You know how Canadians are.
I'll get on it.
They don't get hot secretaries. They just get really old ones that, act out like their grandmother.
That's a shame. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, what can you do? Then again, You wouldn't know. She was at the party, but you were at the bottom of the pool at that point.
That's true.
Not really sure what you were doing there, but oh well.
That's my business.
I leave you to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's better than getting into a movie fight with the millennials.
That's true. If it works, it works.
That's exactly right. Just like this movie. If it works, it works. And it does work. The gags are good.
I think there was several jokes. I said, okay, that's funny. That's good. Yeah. That's good stuff. Good. I mean, obviously Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, they're gonna hit it right. They're gonna put in good performances.
Yeah.
Like I said, it did the job.
Yeah, this is basically it's like what I described to you. It's Saturday Night Live, but with a budget.
There you go.
Yeah. And okay, so I did some digging on this thing. And guess what? I found out that Dan Aykroyd, he wrote this based off Bob Hope movies. Apparently, in the 40s to 60s, there was like this franchise with Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, of all people. And so they would make movies together and call them The Road To, like the Road to Singapore, The Road to Zanzibar, The Road to Morocco, The Road to Utopia, The Road to Rio, The Road to Bali, etc., etc. So basically, it would be the same thing every time. It would be Bob Hope and Bing Crosby doing kind of a comedy spiel off of each other. And one of them would always fall for a woman, even though they decided not to, and they would berate each other, and Bing Crosby would sing, and it's kind of like this, really. So this I'm
gonna go out on a limb and say they never actually traveled to those countries either. They just film out on a soundstage. Yeah.
They soundstage the whole thing. Yes.
Now the only reason I know what that was is Family Guy used to do Road to Wherever episodes. Yes. So I'd heard of it. I just never knew who was in it, what those movies were, but I'd heard of it through Family Guy.
Well, there is an actual
Family Guy also.
There is an actual Family Guy Spies Like Us.
That's right.
Episode. It's called Spies Reminiscent of Us.
Yeah.
And it's got Chevy Chase and it's got Dan Aykroyd with the voices.
Right.
Just to show you how influential this movie is.
Yeah.
But
there you go. Really, or at least Seth MacFarlane thought so.
Well, yeah. Well, he knows funny, right? So basically what they're doing is they're gluing their brand of SNL humor to the old Bob Hope, Bing Crosby thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a lot of these jokes are kind of in jokes. By the way, did you catch Bob Hope?
I did catch Bob Hope.
He was one of the doctors, right?
Yeah, it was hard not to. He just came into the tent playing golf or something. What was he doing?
Yeah. Doing his Bob Hope thing. And they were about to perform an appendicitis on some character, and nobody in that tent was actually a doctor.
Right.
They're all looking at each other.
Including Bob Hope.
Including Bob Hope. Yeah. And did you catch B.B. King?
I did not. Where was he?
Okay. So at some point, the CIA guys, they go to some secret location where they shoot down a vacuum tube into some secret command center where they're supposed to test the whole SDI program thing, right? Uh-huh. When they go in, there are a bunch of security guys out there. One of them is B.B. King. And the other one is director Sam Raimi.
Really?
There's this black guy outside of the Rotten Tomato Company, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's B.B. King.
Oh, I didn't know that. There's a lot of cameos in this movie.
There's a ton of them.
Like directors, weird.
Yeah. Well, John Landis has a lot of buddies. And they tend to visit him on set. And then he just says, hey, you want to be in a movie?
Yeah, John Landis is kind of a dick, so you kind of have to say yes to him.
I guess. Well, he did make this like movie called Amazon Women on the Moon. And that's kind of the same thing. It's just this one big, long mix of scenes shot with famous comedians. Like one after the other.
John Landis did?
Yeah.
So of all the great movies he's made, that's the one you referenced?
Well, okay, he did make Trading Places, and he did American Werewolf in London, and we all know those. Oh, and he did
a lot of stuff. Blues Brothers.
He did a little Michael Jackson video that, was around for a minute.
Perhaps you've heard of it. He also killed somebody on set. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
I don't know much about it. I just know he killed somebody with a helicopter. I'm just blaming him like he was riding the actual helicopter.
Well, he's ultimately responsible, right?
Yeah, he's the director. And then I saw some movies that made us Netflix documentary, and they were doing one on, I guess it was Coming to America or something. And he was kind of a dick on that, so I haven't liked him ever since.
Oh, right. He got into something with Eddie Murphy, right?
Right. And just like at the beginning of the interview, they were like, all right, list your name and like who you are, just because it's kind of an introduction. And he like refused to do it. He's like, I don't need to list who I am and what I've done. That's like beneath me. I'm like, dude, just freaking do it and quit being a dick.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah. So I wasn't a big fan. And then he killed those kids. So,
So funny.
Yes. Killing kids is hilarious.
Killing kids is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, not for you anymore. You're a daddy now.
No, I'm a daddy.
You can't say shit like that because, it's damaging to your child.
That's right. I had my first 24 hours with him by myself. My wife was out of town, and she just got back into town. So that's why I'm having a breakfast martini.
So yeah. What else could you do? So you finally got him down. Huh? What did you like? I don't know. Tranquilize him?
I just spoke to him like an adult and said, "Listen here. This is what's going to happen. You will sleep, or I'll put you to sleep." And he did, and he obeyed.
He obeyed.
Yeah.
Well, he's a good little operative.
Parenting 101 right there.
Well, you're 007, he's 001, right?
That's right.
He's finally, what can I say? I stand in awe of your parental guidance here.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yes. Okay, so on to the movie. It's basically about two dunces.
Yes.
Who are about to be used as decoys without knowing it. Right? It's like that exam scene is just awesome.
I did love that. And I love a good Frank Oz appearance.
Isn't it? Right? I mean, he's like the worst hall monitor, and he's like the hall monitor from hell.
Yeah, he always pops up, and he like, speaking of John Landis, he's popped up in Blues Brothers.
It's not an accident.
Trading Places.
Wow, he's in a lot of John Landis movies, huh? They must be buddies, right?
I guess so. I guess John Landis is a big fan of the Muppets.
Or Frank Oz brings the Coke to the party.
Maybe so. You can't shoot a movie without Coke, especially in
the 80s here. Right? Yeah, you need a connection.
It was a fun time.
You need a connection.
And you need like a whole bucket of Coke back then. It wasn't strong.
Mountains of that stuff, because it was all cut up with like washing detergent and I don't know, baking powder and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was weak stuff. If you did enough of it, it would be okay. But right, you really had to work to get your buzz.
True that. And rub it up on your gums to check if it was actually good.
Exactly.
That always freaked me out, that whole rubbing on the gums thing.
Yeah, that was a drug I never got into. I never really got into any drugs other than alcohol.
Neither have I. Alcohol is just fine. And I got that after started only after my 30s, when my brain wasn't that important anymore.
You didn't start drinking until your 30s?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, bodybuilding, dude.
That's why you've stayed in such good shape.
Yes, competing. I had to compete, and, no bad things into the old temple. But after that, it was all good.
Body's a temple. Well, then how do you explain why I'm such a powerful man and I've been drinking since high school?
Yeah, but that's different.
How's that?
You're cut from that.
I'm just
Secret Service SAS MI6 cloth, right?
And I'm from Louisiana, so I'm like bred for alcoholism.
That's true. So, you were probably conceived during an alcohol bout.
Perhaps. So my liver is like fucked from birth.
Or it's much like, we're talking about a lot of Russians here, or it's just, you just have two livers like most Russians do.
Oh, maybe so. I didn't, I'll have to check next to the doctor's appointment, see what I'm working with.
Well, if they'll tell you the truth,
Yeah.
Jealousy. There's jealousy.
Good deal.
Mm-hmm. There's that. So, okay.
So sorry. Testing scene.
Not at all. So there's these two dunces. They get suckered into some spy program because they need decoys, because apparently there's some leak in their operation. And so they figure, well, we'll just send out these two assholes and the Russians will kill them and think they've found another spy team. And then the real team can go in and do their mission. And we are yet to find out what that mission really is, because that's neat to know.
And good luck finding, they don't tell you that to the very end.
Nope.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Because really, it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, it matters to the people. Yeah, it matters to the spies, though. They might need to know this.
Yeah, they might. Might be interesting.
Yeah,
that's
just me.
That's just you. So, okay. So basically, what they did was they busted them cheating on their exam in a very original way. So here you have like Chevy Chase walking into the room with a fake cast on his arm, and he has like an eye patch. And he has like notes written into his eye patch, and he has stuff into his arm, and he's like the guy next to him, and that happens to be Dan Aykroyd, and they're cheating all over the place. And at some point, they do work together. You have to admit.
Mm-hmm. I do love when he starts like crying and just starts looking at other people's test scores and everything. Yeah. At one point, he just takes out a piece of paper out of his pocket and just starts.
Can I borrow your pen?
It's not the most creative way to cheat.
Of course, they weren't fooling anybody. Then again, they did get a promotion out of it. So there you go. There you go, people.
There you go.
If you can, lose if you must, always cheat.
Good for them.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Cheating gets you by in life. Cheating gets you promoted.
Exactly. In some real world cases, it does.
Obviously. And so it does in this case. So apparently there's this general Slime with an N. Yeah, some real trickery of wordplay here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things I just wanted to bring up. Okay, so Dan Aykroyd's character is called Austin Milbarge. Chevy Chase's character is called Emmett Fitzhugh.
Yeah, those names suck.
Yeah, either that or they were just taking the piss on some people.
Yeah,
maybe they know someone called Emmett or Fitzhugh and just figured, well, we'll just portray them as an asshole in a movie.
Yeah. They kept saying Fitzhugh. I'm like, this is not a catchy name, an easy name to say.
It seriously sounds like Writer's Vengeance to me.
Maybe so.
And if so,
that was back when, like, if movies were trying to make a point about somebody, it's a little more subtle. Now, yes. If they make a movie and they want to like commentate on somebody, it's just they really slap you around the head with it.
Yeah, they ram you in the nose with it.
Yeah, it's like, we get it, guys. You don't like these people. We understand.
Yes, people
this
bad. This is a white male. You must hate him.
They're all bad, man.
They're all bad. We're all bad. We're evil people.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We've done nothing good.
Nothing whatsoever. We should just leave it to all the brown and yellow people because obviously they're good.
That's right, man. I think everyone's good except for us.
We should just let the world be ruled by women.
There you go, man.
Or men who identify as women.
Well, it depends what they have in store for me.
Nothing good because we're white males.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I can't get on board with that.
No, neither can I. So maybe we should just do our white male thing and just, do what they expect us to do. Be evil.
I'll embrace it, man. If they want a villain, they'll get a villain.
Right?
If they want a villain, they'll get a villain.
They wrote the part. We might as well play it.
That's right.
Yeah. Might not be a happy ending for them, though.
That's right.
So there you go. Anywho, we just fixed the world's problems. Yes, you're welcome, people. This is the Mr. Fix-It for the woke problem. This is it. Just let the white males handle it. We got this.
Yeah. That's fine advice.
Yeah, I mean, we built the world. We'll stop the people trying to end the world.
And we built the world. We'll destroy it too, if we please.
If need be, yes.
Yeah.
To put everybody back in their place.
That's right. Okay.
Where they should be.
Okay. Spies like us. We keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah, that's the alcohol.
Maybe so.
Yes. Okay, so Spies Like Us cost $22 million to make, which is in 1985 a pretty expensive comedy. But then they did go to Morocco, and they went to Morocco is actually supposed to be Pakistan/Afghanistan. And they also went to Norway, and that was supposed to be Siberia, I think. I'm not exactly sure because I checked the map on their route and I was like, wow, that's a pretty long bus ride, but okay. Anywho, so it cost $22 million to make, but hey, they made money. They made mucho money, $77 million worldwide. So
nice little return.
That's a nice little investment there.
Mm-hmm.
Just put two funny guys in there and have a average spy story and Bob's your uncle.
Back when there was about 30-40 year period where you just get a good comedy in there, don't have to spend much money, and
people would just go because it would be a nice date movie.
That's right.
Nice movie to eat popcorn and make out with your date, and at the end of the night, maybe have some nookie in the car.
Have some nookie in the car, yes.
Right?
Like that.
Exactly.
Nookie. I didn't know that y'all knew about nookie. Where you come from?
Well, it's referenced in movies a lot.
Okay.
So
I haven't heard nookie since I was in the 8th grade.
Yes, but term. That's obvious because this is 1985 we're talking. So nookie was a big thing. Mm-hmm. And after this, the whole bases thing happened, like first base, second base, third base. Because I watched those movies too, which is the one where the guy fucks the cake. What's that franchise called with Stifler?
Oh, American Pie.
American Pie, right? They referenced
that was the working title. The one where the guy fucks the cake.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, that's really the selling point of the movie. They should have put that in the trailer.
Yeah, I did love that movie though.
So did I. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Anywho, so they made a ton of money, which is great. Nice for them. Never a sequel. Why was there a sequel to this?
Did they attempt to make one? It was kind of developmental hell and
No, there was never a sequel. It's just that was it. It's like Dan Aykroyd got tapped out. He wrote this movie. I think he wrote it when he did Blues Brothers, and originally John Belushi was supposed to play Emmett Fitzhume or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening because John Belushi's not the type. But
no.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty ripe for a sequel. I mean, you can do several of these movies the way they set it up. It's just
And if Chevy wasn't into it, they could have just done it with James Belushi. That could have worked. It was the 80s.
Just as good.
Yeah. I don't know. They're interchangeable in my opinion. I mean, I love me some John Belushi. I think he was great. But James Belushi, pretty decent too.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah. It's just whenever you have the name, so everyone's always going to compare you to John, and you're always going to look bad.
Yeah, kind of like the Phoenix brothers. Like you have Joaquin Phoenix and you have like River Phoenix, and you're always like, well,
Yeah. I prefer Joaquin. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. So
no, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so basically, Dan Aykroyd wrote this, like he wrote Ghostbusters. By the way, Dan Aykroyd's a great writer.
Dude, seriously,
people sleep on that. That guy's a great writer.
I mean, yeah, like they were all coked up and everything in the 70s doing SNL, but like he was just hammering out these excellent, not just like scripts, but like creative to create Ghostbusters just from that's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like obviously he gave himself the best scenes, like getting his dick sucked by a ghost. Right. That's still the best scene in Ghostbusters.
But he gave the best part to Bill Murray.
He got all the lines. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he got most of the jokes.
He's a generous guy. Same with Chevy Chase. I mean, he got a lot of cool lines. I mean, what's your favorite line in this movie?
I did love him bribing Frank Oz and saying, "Can you hold my wallet? There's $1,000 in it, or is there?" Yeah, that is a great way to bribe somebody.
Oh, wasn't that smooth?
I love it, man.
I'm just gonna keep that one.
Yeah, I bribe people all the time, so I'm gonna start using that.
Yes, right. It's so much better than that whole handshake thing where you've like folded the bill into like tiny compartment. I mean, who uses cash anymore?
Oh, I do. I gotta stay off the grid, man.
You're still a cash guy, huh?
Oh,
well, it's Louisiana. You have to, right?
That's right. I don't want to know anyone know where I am.
Then again, a lot of those guys around you just sort of barter with like gold teeth, right?
That's true. Everything's negotiable.
Hey, whatever works, man. Whatever works. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I wrote a bunch of them down. It's that I really loved. It's like this. This is a Dan Aykroyd line. This is actually Dan Aykroyd line. It's like, did you hear that? It's like when they were like dropped out of the airplane, they were parachuted, and so they land right on top of each other, and they're suddenly surrounded by ninjas for some reason.
Yeah, it was odd.
It was a cool scene though. And so there's a bunch of ninjas doing swordplay, and it's like right before that happens, like, did you hear that? Yeah, it's a dick fur. That's what Dan Aykroyd says. And so Chevy Chase says, "Oh yeah, what's a dick fur?" And so, so Dan Aykroyd says, "To pee with."
That's right. I think Chevy has a good like Borat sounding line in that scene too. He says, "This is my sister. You can all have her."
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
My sister is number 6 prostitute in all of Kazakhstan.
You come to Kazakhstan, you use my sister.
Yes. We have special sexy time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, she's now number 6 prostitute because, the Pussycat Dolls came to Kazakhstan, right?
All of Kazakh.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Actually, they do a bunch of dick jokes. So at one point, it's like, you're always thinking with your dick. And it's like, yeah, but, and he goes like, at some point they realize, well, maybe your dick's not so dumb. And Chevy Chase is like, yeah, got me through high school.
Got me through high school. That's right. Still getting me through my everyday routine,
Right? Thinking with your dick.
Just follow him. Follow him. He's not so stupid.
Let's face facts here. Our brains right now are drowning in alcohol. So we might as well think with our dicks. That's the most intelligent part of our body right now.
Exactly.
Has he ever led us astray? I mean, look at the beautiful offspring you have.
Yes. Sure. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, it's the only working thing left,
I'll drink to that one.
Yeah. Brain's gone, everything's gone.
So thinking with your dick. So another great line, which is arguably one of the better ones. It's like, it's really flippant. It's like, okay, so at some point you hear like this song they keep repeating, right? Which is Soulfinger by the Barkays. So Dan Aykroyd says, like product placement here, hey, it's Soulfinger by the Barkays. And so Chevy Chase just sort of from offhand says, they must be having trouble getting gigs.
I did love that line.
Right?
I wrote that one down.
Yep.
They must be having a hard time getting gigs. I remember I love making fun of someone's gig. Like Letterman, I used to be a Letterman fan, and when a comic would come out, he'd say, "Oh, he's playing at the fucking, the Chuckle Hut in Providence, Rhode Island," and he just goes, "Good gig. Please welcome whoever." And it's just making fun of his shitty job, which has always made me laugh. Good gig.
Yeah, Letterman is awesome like that. I remember this one episode where he just said he liked the word 5 in Spanish. You know what the letter 5 is in Spanish? Cinco. Just listen to that sound, cinco, and he just kept repeating it the entire episode. And people were like, "What the hell are you doing? I'm trying to get my plugs in here." And he's like, "Cinco," and he just kept like talking over people, "Cinco," because
he would latch on to one phrase and stick with it for like a month.
Yep. Why not?
But a Foucault,
right? Yeah. Everything was just material to that guy.
Yeah.
Weirdo. And then he grew a beard and started interviewing people on Netflix. That's like his legacy now.
Yeah, he looks like Santa Claus on meth.
What is that? What is that? And people we know from the 80s and 90s growing long beards and getting weird. What is that? I mean,
have no idea.
My guy Mel Gibson grows a long beard and gets weird. Then there's Kurt Russell. Then there's this David Letterman. Then there's who else grew a beard? Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey got a weird
what is that? It looks horrible. Mel really annoys me because Mel's still a good looking guy.
Yeah, why would you have a beard? So he played Santa.
Lose the beard, man.
It was for Santa.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I'm inebriated. I'll admit that. It's, what can I say? It's when I loosen up, I start to kind of be truthful here. And so I haven't seen every Mel Gibson movie yet. I have.
Oh God, Seiko. Now you're losing all credibility on your podcast.
I'm just it's tanking. Right.
Are you the only Mel Gibson themed podcast on the planet?
Yes.
Good for you, man.
Hey, that's why I'm in podcasting. I mean, for real. That's why we're talking, because no one was doing Mel Gibson. Because everybody was afraid. They were afraid to be, labeled a Jew hater, because Mel Gibson hates Jews. So if you're into Mel,
so even if you just talk about his movies,
then you're a Jew hater.
If you do a podcast about his movies,
opinions. You must agree with his opinions if you're a fan.
Yeah, he was just supposed to be in one of our parades for Mardi Gras this year, and he got kicked out.
Right? Why? Yeah. Because violent Jews were threatening him.
Yeah, really. It was an odd choice. I was like, well, how do y'all think this is going to go down?
What the hell is a New York, moved to Australia, came back to the United States to live in LA, bearded, weird actor / director / producer guy doing in New Orleans? Explain that one to me.
No idea, man. They have weird grand marshals of parades for Mardi Gras, though. It's like the most random names. So
whatever gets people out. I thought it was just, girls were supposed to wear pearls, or guys were supposed to wear the pearls and do something, and then girls would show their tits. That's Mardi Gras, right? It's it's like Mardi Gras beads. It's just like colorful pearl looking necklaces. That's it, yeah. Beads. Yeah, because I was at Mardi Gras. They have parades, and the people on the float. The people on the float throw beads, and the girls show their tits. And they'll get the beads. I didn't see all that. I didn't see much titty. Then again, I'm a Dutch guy. I mean, tits are everywhere, so it's not a novelty to me. But are they? I'm sure to you Americans, that's a shocking thing to see tits on the street like that. But it's like, well, when I was young, the first time going to it was something. Seeing some naked breasts, that was fun. It's a hoot and a holler, man. Okay, so let me tell you about Europe. Tell me about Europe. Everybody went topless in my youth. Everybody. It was yes. The girls would buy bikinis, but only for the brief. They would never wear the top. Ever. Huh.
We got a lot more free over there
Yeah,
with your bodies.
yeah. My grandparents were like into nudist camps.
Oh God.
If you survive World War II, right? If you survive fascist occupation, depredation, bombings, if you survive all that stuff, after that, you just want to be free, right? So they would just go to like, I don't know, regular campings, except those campings would be nudist campings. And everybody would just be naked. Nobody would be good looking at all, but everybody would just be naked and free and relaxed. They would just sit around and play cards with their dicks and ticks heading out. That's Europe.
That's Europe in a nutshell. So
Pretty
you've
much.
seen some shit in World War II, and you come back home and say, "I can't be bothered with clothes anymore.
I just need to see tits 24/7.
Life's too short, man. I just
Life's
shot
too
30,
short.
30 Japanese, and I need to."
And when you think about it, it's a beautiful thing because what are boobs? Boobs are, you know this because you're a young father. Boobs are there to provide nourishment for your child. Boobs are motherly love. That's why we love boobs. Boobs are good. Boobs are the best thing in life. The bigger the boob, the better.
It's like talking to a doctor,
right?
Yeah, I'm learning so much.
It's so important. It's important to have a boob in your life. That's the one. And you said this at the start of this episode. It's like no boobs. Why was that girl in the bikini? Russian girls aren't that, not the ones I meet anyway.
She was so close. And of course, there's like both smoking hot. Well, actually, not the other woman wasn't that hot, but Vanessa Angel and Dan Aykroyd's wife is the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karen.
I think so.
Who looked unbelievable in that fur.
Oh
man.
Oh.
She looked better in the fur than she did like just regularly,
Yeah, when she had like her Dr. Schmuck thing on. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the fur thing. The fur does something. I guess club to death furry little creatures just make a woman sexy.
Maybe so. Like, what they had to go through to get that fur. So it's like, wow, okay.
Some guy went out to the coast with his club and beat to death little baby seals.
Yeah. And they're like, what do they need it for? They're dead already.
So women can look pretty and sensual. So they will arouse us.
Isn't your sometimes co-host Katie super against fur?
Seriously. She's beyond against fur.
Don't let her listen to this.
Oh, no. We have to keep her away from this.
Of course, we're not supporting it or
no, we're firmly against it. She should be naked. That's what we're saying.
We're just saying she's wearing it. We're not supporting or rejecting it.
That's what we're saying here. That's our stance.
Yeah.
She should be natural.
She does look good in it.
Just naked and look motherly, i.e. show her boobs.
Right.
Because that's what mothers do. Even in public, they feed their children in public. I'm very pro on that.
Are you?
Young mothers should be able to feed their child at any point, at any place, anywhere. Bus stops, McDonald's, restaurants, doesn't matter. If the child needs nourishment, pop out the boob.
And you don't want like the blanket over it. You just come as you are.
Blanket. You Americans with your blankets. No blanket. It's a good thing. It's beautiful. It's a mother with her child. She's nourishing her child. It's love. Get that through your head.
I like that. You Americans with your blankets.
Boobs are good. Explosions and killing people and guns are bad. Get that through your head.
Hey, no one loves the breast more than the America, okay?
Well, at least on Mardi Gras.
We love breasts.
Right? This movie, however, does not, which is sad.
No.
Which is sad.
Well, they had to keep it PG-13.
Yes, well, we were talking about, we were kind of like thinking out loud about, well, okay, so what do we grade this movie? By what measurement? Maybe we should be grading it on boobs. Maybe that should be
boobs. Well, okay, I'll give it like a 3 because Vanessa Angel was in her bra for a minute and looked very nice. And I love Vanessa Angel.
She looks very nice.
Yeah.
And has a very nice smile.
Yeah. And even like internet age where I can see anyone naked now who I want, I still was like, please let me see. Please.
See? Now, and this is not our brains talking here. This is the brains in our dicks talking.
Yeah, my
So
dick
this
took
is the
over.
quality of our podcast. This is an excellent podcast. I have
Yeah,
to
my
say.
dick took over 20 minutes ago.
So did mine. Why not? The minute I sip this tremendous cocktail, this wonderful
Breakfast martini.
the breakfast martini, this nectar of the gods.
Would you make it again? Like when I'm not present?
I will make this for my wife, and then I will have marital sex with her.
Take her to the marital bed.
And have my conjugal.
Good for you.
Post cocktail. To celebrate the quality of your cocktail.
Well, it worked for the Black Passion, right?
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, we were in trouble. Big trouble. Because you cannot just pass that out to your friends.
No.
I mean, they start talking crazy talk.
No, these people that like can hold
swinging and they want to take their clothes off and they make lewd suggestions. You just can't say that. You just can't just hand out this cocktail. So I did make sure to feed them first. The second time around, I was like, the first time around, I learned my lesson. The second time around, I just put a ton of meat in them. I have this really nice smoker called the Bastard. It's all black. It's beautiful. And so I made lots of meat, and then I made that cocktail.
Good deal.
That's
hey, Seiko,
with great power comes great responsibility, Jack.
Exactly. Seiko, you think at this point anyone's still listening to this podcast?
No.
I think we've dedicated about 6% talking about Spies Like Us.
Just, but we're talking boobs here. We talked about a very essential thing in life. So I think our listeners appreciate that.
Yeah. We just got to follow the conversation, just wherever the conversation goes.
Okay. And by the way, this movie is about starting World War III and all kinds of spy stuff. And it's a good movie. Go see it.
Yeah. Now back to boobs.
Back to boobs, which are not in this movie. Well, in a bikini. Which makes us sad.
Bra and panties.
Yes. Well, so it makes us sad. So, okay, we reluctantly move on. Reluctantly. Another trivia thing. Paul McCartney had his last hit song with this movie. He made a song called Spies Like Us. I sent it to you, the video. The video has Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. So I encourage everyone to look it up on YouTube. That's where I found it. It's great. It's actually good. It's a good song. It's fun. It's snappy tune.
You liked it? I thought it was okay.
It was a snappy tune.
It was all right.
It got up to, in 1984, 1985, that was still vintage Paul McCartney. He still
I guess so.
Beatle.
He was still chasing the Beatles fame, and like he was trying to make things sound like his old stuff.
Well, that was his stuff. So he was sounding like himself. I mean, he was the Beatles. Let's face facts. He was like half of it, right? The other half was John.
Right.
And then there were the two other members.
Yeah. I thought the song was, it was okay. It was
okay. It was good. It was
fine.
I mean, it's for a movie, right? So he had like his last hit song with that, which went to like number 7, which was 1985. That's a big thing. You make a lot of money when you're at number 7. Not like now when, you're number 7 on Spotify. Well, okay, that'll get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I didn't realize it went that hot. Okay.
Yeah,
it was an actual hit for him.
This is decent. This is fine. So, okay, what more could we say about this movie other than that it has good gags and it's a fun watch just for once, because I particularly love the training part. That has some good stuff in it.
Yeah, it was like a montage of like 10-second jokes.
Yeah.
Like crash a plane and then cut.
Yeah, this is where the SNL thing comes in, right?
Right. And they go like in that pit and then it cuts.
Yeah.
And then the flamethrower cut. Like it's just little silly jokes for
they're bits.
Like 10 seconds, yeah.
They're bits. It's like my favorite one is where they put them in these like this like kind of carnival ride kind of G pressure testing thing, right? Where they get round around, they go round and round, round and round until they have like built up G pressure. So their faces are completely contorted. Right. And so they're walking down a hallway, and Dan Aykroyd says to Chevy Chase, "Hey, you want some coffee?" And the other guy goes, "Oh, it's a good idea." That's a great gag. It's funny.
Yeah, it looks like his Conehead face. What Dan Aykroyd's doing, it kind of has that weird, stretched out face.
That's probably where he got it.
Kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, that's probably where Dan Aykroyd got it. I mean, Truth be told, Dan Aykroyd is a little bit of a, extraterrestrials and stuff, right? He's a little
Have you seen his like advertising about his vodka?
Oh, right. He has a vodka, right?
Yeah, and it's in a skull, the crystal skull, like from Indiana Jones. And
Yeah.
watching him plug that vodka, you think you're talking to like a psychopath. I mean, he just goes on because he's a pretty smart dude.
Yeah.
And he just goes on and on down this rabbit hole of extraterrestrials. Like, Dan, what the hell are you talking about, man? Is the vodka good or not? Who gives a shit about aliens?
Yeah, stick to the product here.
Yeah, man.
I mean, take a cue from George Clooney here.
Yeah,
right?
John Tron on YouTube does a whole video about. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he does a whole 20-minute video just on Dan Aykroyd trying to sell his vodka, and it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's good.
That should be fun because that's another thing. It's like, okay, so how did Dan Aykroyd end up? How did Chevy Chase end up? And Chevy Chase ended up in some kind of, what was it, Community, some sitcom.
Yeah. I never did see it. I heard he was a dick in it. Of course, he's a dick in everything, though.
He's a dick in everything.
I mean, everyone that's ever worked with him is like, he's a fucking asshole.
He's a monumental dick. That's what
like Mount Rushmore, biggest assholes in Hollywood history. Chevy Chase.
Complete and utter prick. It's like there's this movie about the guy who wrote Animal House. I forgot what the movie's called, but it has what's his name?
Christopher Reeve?
No, the other one, the new one.
Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill plays Chevy Chase.
Wait, what movie is this?
It's on Netflix. It's a movie about the guy who wrote Animal House. And who wrote, he started National Lampoons, the magazine. He wrote Animal House and a bunch of other comedies. And then he killed himself. He basically killed himself because he saw Airplane, the movie Airplane?
Yeah.
The skit comedy thing. And he got so depressed by that he was like, well, there are people on the planet who write better comedy than me. What's my point of existing? So he killed himself.
Did he actually kill himself?
He actually killed himself. It's in it's in the movie. It's like they just show it, and it's like, wow.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
You bringing me down, Seiko?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, comedy is pretty morbid anyway. Comedians are generally just sort of psychos, right?
Yeah, they're odd ducks.
Yeah, their comedy is basically a coping mechanism of dealing with their mental health problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in their head. That's why so many are depressed and commit suicide. Yeah.
Yeah, just look at Robin Williams. I loved Robin Williams. I loved that guy. He just offed himself.
Yeah, that was like a horribly sad day.
Ugh. What was that?
Yeah,
and here's this guy who's so funny, who brought everyone so much joy, and inside he was just like this, like kind of like the clown, the depressed clown with the tear, and like, I'm just funny because I want people to love me, that kind of thing. Yeah, Chevy Chase is not that kind of comedian, though.
No, he was not.
No,
not at all. Yeah, I go back and forth on Chevy Chase, whether I like him or not. Sometimes I'm like, he sucks and he's not that funny. And then I'll look at some of his stuff like Fletch and even this movie and vacation movies. I'm like, all right, he's pretty solid. So I go back and forth on him. His
80s stuff is just spectacular. His 70s stuff is brutal. But once he hit Caddyshack, he's just awesome in it.
Yeah.
I just love him in Caddyshack because he's a troll like me. He's kind of an asshole, right? And I always have kind of a fondness for people like that.
Kind of your spirit animal.
Pretty much, yes. Spirit animal. That's a good one. Yes.
Chevy Chase.
He's gray-haired like me now, so there you go. Yeah. And then there's Dan Aykroyd, who just went, well, he seemed like the sanest person of the Ghostbusters. Right?
I think so, yeah.
And he seemed like the sanest person of Saturday Night Live, of that group, because he's the guy who could remember his lines. I mean, that's one of his gigs, right? This is one of his things where he could just spout out narrative like nothing. It's
he talks a million miles a minute but doesn't forget one of his lines.
Yes, it's he can talk like he's on Star Trek.
Yeah, and he's doing an auction house. Like, he's so fast.
Yeah.
He's brilliant,
fast, precise.
He really is.
And in his heyday, and this was his heyday, he's great. I mean, this is a good comedy. Let's face facts here. Those two have chemistry because they worked together a ton on SNL, and they just got some decent money to make this movie. So they just went to Morocco and they went to Norway and they just had fun. and they just kept improving on all the lines they did. So this is a solid movie. This is worth watching. This was
fun. And they were both pretty big names at the time too, huh?
Definitely.
I mean, they're kind of at the peak of their career.
Yeah, and there's like one thing, that's like what I haven't really told about is like, what's the statute of limitations on video piracy? Do you know? Let's say I'm just saying maybe 1986-ish, I may allegedly have illegally copied a movie I rented.
Mm-hmm.
You know how
and you may
know
have
how the evil criminals who would pirate movies, you know how they did that back then?
How's that?
Well, they had like their video recorder, right? And then they went to their next door neighbor and said, hey, I just rented this movie. Can I borrow your video recorder if I make you, your copy? And so you would play the movie twice and you would connect the two VCRs with a cable. So, the video playing would be out and the video in would be the other recorder where you would be recording. And you just hit play and the other one you just hit record. And then it would just copy the video.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Quite the operation.
It was it's organized crime because you have to organize it with multiple people.
So you did it back then?
Allegedly. Because you have not said if the statute of limitation has, expired.
Okay. You can neither confirm nor deny that happened.
That's exactly right. I cannot confirm nor deny that this actually took place, but theoretically this might have taken place. And theoretically, I might have rented Rocky IV.
Okay.
And on the videotape of Rocky IV was at the start of the video, after you get like the whole don't copy this video, blah, 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 you would get trailers. And the first trailer you would see would be Spies Like Us. And then Rocky IV would start. So for years, allegedly, I watched that trailer without ever having seen the movie. I watched that trailer and then Rocky IV. And so finally, I actually saw the movie, which was like way years later in the 80s. Allegedly.
And you allegedly recorded that VHS too?
Obviously. Okay. Allegedly.
Well, yeah, Siko, we by God, we don't want you to get in trouble. So, maybe you didn't do this.
Maybe not. But if I did, then that would be a way that, I would, have a strong connection to this movie. And for that very reason, I thought of this movie for the Last of the Action Heroes. And because it is a spy comedy, I could think of no better person to record this than with you.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. The only thing that we
this is a nostalgic movie for you.
Booze, which brings me to I have to shake.
Go for it, man.
I have to re-up my drink. Oh. And the good stuff is always on the bottom, right?
Oh, yeah. That's what they tell me. More than just drinks.
To your good health, sir.
Cheers. What was I going to say? So I lost my train of thought. The cocktail shaker distracted me. Not bad, huh?
Oh.
I feel like it's as strong as a martini, but that doesn't make any sense because there's like sugar from the Cointreau, sugar from the marmalade, lemon juice, but it's I see what you're going through now.
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
You gonna make it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Barely.
Well, good thing it's nighttime over there.
Oh, there's that.
It's 12 o'clock over here, so I got a whole day planned.
Yes, but it's just quality time with you and the little Rugrat, right?
That's true.
Yes, there you go.
Speaking of drinking, can I say from this movie that what I did enjoy is one of those generals was drinking from a coffee mug. Now that's good old fashioned alcoholism. That's something I can get behind,
especially on the job.
Right.
Yes.
In a coffee mug, a flask.
Yes.
And just drinking, and they're eating Oreos while watching the whole operation.
The Oreos thing. That was just hilarious. I mean, World War III is being perpetrated through nefarious actions, and they're just eating Oreos and drinking coffee.
Yeah. And tell me again why they couldn't test this system on something that other than a nuclear missile.
Reasons.
The first time they ever tried this defense system, they had to go with the real deal nuclear missile coming to the United States.
That's the hubris of the military-industrial complex, who is infallible until they fail.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just like, so what if it goes wrong? Like, well, then we just nuke Russia.
Right.
That's what happens.
And then we start World War III.
Yeah, and then the real fun starts.
Right? Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
That's our main reason of existing. So if that doesn't happen, then why even bother existing?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of get bored and you just have to start a war sometimes.
Yeah, it's fun to push a button.
Yeah.
And blow some shit up.
Exactly. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, so that Russian crew manning the SS-50 rocket, they were responsible human beings. They were defending that rocket from idiots who were trying to fire that thing and got tranquilized for, the troubles.
Right. And then
poor people.
How long does it take Dan Aykroyd to realign the rocket? Maybe 20 seconds when he realizes the next morning, like, oh, I can just reprogram where it goes. And it takes him about 20 seconds. Just Chevy Chase has to bang it with a rock.
Was to lose his virginity to a pretty Russian girl.
He was a virgin, you think?
Well, what do you think?
I would hope. How old was he in this movie? 30s?
Yeah, so? You know how that goes.
You didn't start drinking until you were in your 30s.
He might as well be wearing like the word incel on his forehead.
Maybe so.
Right? He's a nerd, a complete utter nerd who works in a basement.
But at some point, prostitute, somebody. 30 years, man, that's a long time.
Yeah, well, he doesn't seem the type. You know what I mean?
Of course, you waited.
He's more of a kind of a guy who would build his own sex robot.
Yeah, I could see that. He's smart enough to do it. Yeah,
kind of like I highly suspect, like the Kruger on Archer is based on him.
I've actually never seen that show.
Oh, you haven't seen that show?
Regret to inform you that I don't understand that reference.
God. Oh, that's something you will have to remedy. You must see Archer. If you love James Bond, you must watch Archer.
Must watch Archer. Okay.
For obvious reasons.
Well, I'll put it in the old in the hopper.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. I'll drink to Archer because Archer drinks.
Does he?
Archer is the greatest spy on Earth. Archer is a functioning alcoholic.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Archer is, he's Archer. Oh, dude, you need some Archer in your life, man.
Well, maybe I'll check it out.
You should. Okay, so closing thoughts on this amazing movie that I made you watch that you hadn't seen before.
You did make me watch. I said, I enjoyed it. It was a good, hour and 45 minutes?
Right?
Good 80s comedy. Did the job.
Decent stuff.
The two leads are always going to be good together. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I know in your notes you mentioned Chevy Chase being in the and Dan Aykroyd being in the music video.
Yes, they were in the music video of the Beatle guy. Alcohol makes me forget.
The Beatle guy, Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Oh, right, him. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Now the other part of my brain is now thinking, and he's mostly thinking about let's call it the feminine side of my brain.
Right.
See, and I have one. I have one. I do have one.
It just doesn't function.
Yes, it does function regularly.
Okay.
It just explain to my wife that that's the female part of my brain. So that's the one she should be nourishing, preferably on her knees.
Oh, okay. How does that go over when you explain that to her?
Well, unfortunately, she's in Costa Rica right now. But when she gets back, I'm going to make this cocktail.
Yeah, let me know how she
that you have so generously provided to me.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm 2 for 2 now.
This is why you are my favorite guy to podcast with.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You bring such joy to my life. You bring such quality.
Joy to your life.
First there was the Black Spirit, and now there's this breakfast martini thing it's just delicious.
Seiko, you say the wrong name of that drink every single time.
What is it? Dark
Passion.
Spirit?
Black Passion.
Black Passion.
Every time you get it wrong.
I don't know why.
It's okay.
Why is that?
It's okay. I'm a forgiving guy.
You should. Yes. You're a generous
Passion.
dude.
Yeah. But yeah, Chevy Chase the following year was in the You Can Call Me Out video too.
He was with Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Right.
And Paul Simon is my favorite musician of all time.
What okay. So aside from Graceland, what's your other favorite album?
Oh wow,
Because
Graceland is my
Graceland
favorite
is
album.
obviously one of the greatest albums of all time.
Solo or Simon and Garfunkel?
Including Simon and Garfunkel.
Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Oh yeah.
But I love his first solo album. It's very like just acoustic,
Is
very
that One Trick
simple.
Pony?
No, it's just called Paul Simon.
Right.
And it's very simple and like acoustic and nice and like it was like a big change from Bridge Over Troubled Water. And I love that one. I love Hearts and Bones. That was 1983.
Right. And then there was the Rhythm of the Saints, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, that was after Graceland.
Yes. Went South American on us.
Right. Yeah, love Paul Simon. Actually, You Can Call Me Al. I played baseball in high school, and You Can Call Me Al was my walkout song. So when I'd come out to the pitch, they'd play You Can Call Me Al.
I can think of you played baseball, huh? Explain it. Tell your listeners about your baseball glory. Tell us.
My baseball, I was actually an all-state pitcher, which I don't know if you know what that means, but
I have no clue. Tell me.
The best players in the state are voted on by all the coaches, and I was a pitcher on that team.
What state was that?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Oh, your current state.
Right. All-state pitcher for the state runner-up Cougars.
Right.
Yeah, we lost state finals. So that's
so that's where you made your fortune. You're
talking to an athlete here.
Obviously.
Yeah, a really big deal in high school, 25 years ago, however long that was.
Yeah, kind of like Al Bundy.
Exactly.
The great Al Bundy.
Yes, I am just like Al Bundy.
One of the great men of the 80s.
And now look at me.
Now look at you. Mm-hmm. A father, a podcaster, a connoisseur of great spy movies.
All very useful things.
Very, very useful things. Mm-hmm. I think so. So do our listeners. Don't think you are not appreciated, Jack. The world over, you have your fans.
It's always good to know.
Yes. And of course, I mean, we have to keep our mistresses and our escorts. We have to keep them in furs and money.
That's true.
How else are we going to do that? Exactly.
Happy wife, happy life is the saying.
Yes. Happy wife. Number one is first.
Which is
number one
is first saying.
No, but if you the best way to keep your wife happy is not to molest her too much.
Don't molest her?
No, not too much. Just enough.
Just the right amount. Okay.
Just the right amount.
Again, I'm learning so much today, and I thank you for that.
About nudist camping and about how boobs were everywhere in Europe. And
that's biology.
How important it is to have a mistress to keep the pressure off your wife.
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations on video piracy.
Yeah, you've really.
I'm still unsure about. I haven't Googled it yet, so I'm still denying all involvement. It could have happened. Then again, it was just a theory.
Yeah, just look it up before you release it.
For entertainment purposes for this podcast.
Yeah, so you can't be incriminated. Just look it up before you release the episode.
Exactly. Yes, I shall. So, dear listeners, if you're listening to my, let's say, shady past on video piracy, then obviously the statute limitation has run out, and I am free and clear to talk about this. So, yes, I had like a video library of about 200 tapes of all the good stuff.
Oh, goddamn, man.
Yeah, I even worked in a video store.
Yeah, I think if it's over 100 things, like maybe you are going to prison.
Yeah, then again, prison sentences in Holland are light. It's like a hotel.
Yeah. How are you? Okay.
It's a country club.
How are the prisons over there? Not bad?
Pretty decent.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a PlayStation and you don't even have a cellmate, and it's great.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, it's not so great over here. It depends where you go.
Yeah, it depends on where you go. I think Ghislaine in Maxwell is in a really nice place because I hear, despite the fact that she trafficked women for Epstein, she's now a yoga teacher in a minimal security prison.
Oh, good for her.
Good for her.
Oh, I'm so glad things are finally going her way.
After leading hundreds of extremely young girls astray, she is now a yoga teacher.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Explaining to people how they should do downward dog. And
there's the old, yeah, she knows a lot about that.
She certainly knows a lot about that.
Yeah. Well, there's our American judicial system at work, baby.
Isn't that great? Then again, on the other hand, the perpetrator of this whole thing was neatly disposed of.
Yes, he
that
was.
And his client list, of course.
Yeah, well, that's just as important.
Even more, if not more.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I think we've come to terms with the fact that this is an awesome movie that everybody should just see, because it fits perfectly into the Last of the Action Heroes special edition. What should we call that? What does
I'm still not sure which show I'm on, so you got to tell me.
Oh, this is a special episode. We're just doing this out of the kindness of our hearts.
It does feel special.
It is. It is. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So there's that. So what's next for you, Jack? What's next for the Drunk Bond podcast? Tell us.
Well, let me tell you something. Hell of a show, the show that I have. And I was supposed to do Quantum of Solace last night, and I just didn't. So I've been taking a break from podcasting because I just had a baby, as we've mentioned.
Yeah.
I got like 8 movies to go. So this year I'm trying to knock out all 8 Bond movies. So Quantum of Solace is next. I'll probably record it maybe this week and put it out in the next week.
Quantum of Solace. Is that the one where James Bond doesn't get nookie?
He does get nookie. He only gets nookie once.
Oh.
It's actually a very Bond moment in a very un-Bond movie. Because he meets her and right away he's like in the hotel and he's like, "Hey, can you help me look for the stationery?" And they just bang right away. So it's the only like cool Bond moment of that movie.
Yeah, and the rest is just, well, it's Quantum.
It's just a grumpy, sad movie.
Yeah.
Which is just why you watch a James Bond movie, right?
Yes, because you want to be depressed by some.
Yeah. Leave the movie fat. It's just sad.
I miss Connery, man.
Well, hey, he's still your local. I'm sure you have bootleg fucking copies of the Connery movies.
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah, so you can go watch it anytime.
No, I have that 50th anniversary DVD Blu-ray collection.
Yeah,
and it's a double booklet, and it has everything up to.
Okay, yeah, I think I have the same one,
and it does have space left for the rest of his movies, but I haven't bothered. I'm a kind of a Moore guy. I love Connery because he's my favorite.
You Bond. Like Roger Moore,
but to watch James Bond, I prefer the Roger Moores.
Oh, that makes me happy. Roger Moore's my favorite James Bond.
Yes, well, he's our generation's Bond. Although, truth be told, 90s Bond, kind of the best Bond.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 90s guy.
I love GoldenEye. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Pierce was my guy. So Pierce is the dude I grew up with. But I love campy Bond. I love silly Bond.
Yeah.
And I love Roger Moore. I watched The Man with the Golden Gun this morning, actually.
Ah, what a classic.
Every Saturday morning I watch a James Bond
with Dracula. Movie, so. Bond versus Dracula. It's great.
Freaking
with that
brilliant.
Little guy from
Knick
Knack from what's that awful show?
Something Island.
Yeah. The plane.
Paradise. What's it called?
Fantasy Island, right? Fantasy Island. With Ricardo Montalban.
That's right.
Which is still one of my favorite sayings about Hollywood. And I'll close with that because it's awesome.
What is it?
Okay, so Ricardo Montalban at some point explained the 4 stages of acting. Who is Ricardo Montalban? I want Ricardo Montalban. I want a Ricardo Montalban type. And the final stage, who is Ricardo Montalban?
So that's the life of an actor.
That's the stages every actor goes through.
I like that, actually.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This was an intelligent man.
That's right. It's all about delivery there.
True. And on that note, good sir, I bid you adieu.
Nico, thanks for having me. I'm glad I could introduce you to a second wonderful drink.
Yes,
keep it with you. Keep it close to your heart.
I shall.
Anytime you want to drink it, man.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll see you at the next office party. Make sure Ryan sends, the company plane this time.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. So as for me, well, the upcoming season of the Mel Gibson podcast is underway. We have a ton of episodes coming. So it's the fun Mel season, because I've only done the fun movies for once. I figured, Mel is Mel. It's called Hugging the Cactus for a reason. Mel is Mel. So I figured there's a fun side to Mel. So I picked all his fun movies. The one where Mel is fun. Stuff like Maverick and Tequila Sunrise and Bird on a Wire and Machete 2. It's all fun.
I used to love Maverick.
There you go.
My favorite.
Ryan loves it. So
it's great.
I desperately wanted our CEO on another episode. So I said, okay, so pray tell, what Mel movie would you deem appropriate? And he said, well, I love me some Maverick. So I said, hey, Maverick is fine.
And he's coming on with you?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And, because actually, secretly, Ryan is a big Western buff. He loves Westerns. Yeah. Yeah. He's dreaming about a Western show. So I was like, dude, Westerns are action movies. Why wouldn't you be able to do a Western show? So he's going to finish Rambo and then maybe head into...
I was going to say, I don't know if he has the time, man, between like that and Rocky and Best of the Worst. And
yeah, but it's he does so much stuff. But I think he podcasts in his sleep, really.
Maybe so.
Could be. So that.
Sounds like it.
So that, and I'm starting a new podcast. Have I told you about that? No, I haven't.
Arnold?
I haven't told. No, there's the Arnold podcast. I actually do that with Doug. And we have a second season heading our way. And this season, hold on to your hats, we'll have Predator.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I love me some Predator.
I was on the edge of my seat waiting to hear what you were going to say.
Predator. Yes. Get to the chopper. So that's going to be great.
Classic.
And I'm starting a new show because on one of my Mel episodes, I managed to snag an actual actress, a lead actress, who stars in French-Belgian movies, Virginie van Ruppy. And so she was like, so we got done with the episode, and she was like, hey, this was fun. Why don't we do this every week? And I was like, what did you just say, little lady? Did you just say you wanted to do one every week? Well, we're just going to have to think something up then, won't we? So we have this show concept. We're going to be recording tomorrow morning. And we're going to call it Game Changers. Basically grading movies on whether they changed the game or not. So I said, we'll start with your favorite movie. So what's your favorite movie? She says, G.I. Jane. Hey, that's an action movie.
Did it change the game? Well, I guess y'all going to talk about it.
Right? I like me some Demi Moore. Viggo Mortensen's in it. So that's going to be my new show.
And that's where the whole Will Smith slap started from. That
right?
G.I. Jane joke.
Isn't that topical?
So yeah,
I thought so. So I said, hey, let's go for this. So I've enticed her and she's, well, okay, I shall lend my voice to this. She has like this really sexy French accented voice that, it's like, it's a podcast dream, really.
What's her name?
Virginie.
See, I'm American, man. I have no idea what you just said.
It's like Virginia.
Okay.
But in French, because Virginia was probably originally like a French colony. Like most of America has Louisiana was a French colony.
Uh-huh.
Louisiana is a French name. There are French people living in your hills, my friend. They're called Cajuns.
That's where, they came from. Yeah,
Mardi Gras is a French name.
That's right.
Yes,
I am one. I'm Cajun French.
There you go. You have the heritage.
That's right.
That's right. You're actually French. But obviously you're a man of culture. That's why you have such awesome cocktails.
Can't you tell?
I can. So that's my next project. So people, please give that a listen. It's worth listening to. If not for me, then for the incredible, sexy Virginie van Ruppy, who has a movie out called À la Folie. And it's actually considered for the César Awards, which are like the French Oscars. The French have their own movie industry, and so they have their own awards. So they have like the what's that called? The Cannes Film Festival, So they have those awards, and then there are the Césars. So it's like the Golden Globes versus the Oscars, but French.
I see. Well, not a girl, Virginie. Yeah.
Sounds great to me. Anywho,
Yeah,
so that's
I'll give it a
what I'm
listen.
going to be doing. All I can say is, good sir, you have brought joy to my life with this awesome cocktail. You have brought more joy to my life by collaborating on this incredible podcast with this great comedy. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Thanks for having me.
A pleasure as always. Until next time, until the next cocktail. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care.
Ooh, ooh, what do you do? No one else can dance like you. So what's all of us? There ain't nobody spies like us. Hey, what do you say? Someone took your plans away. So what's all of us? There ain't nobody